Welcome back to movementprofessional.com. For this week's movement, we're going to look at going from a half kneeling position to a standing position, which is a form of lunging. Basically, this is an extension of the first week we went over hip hinging, which is the fundamental movement of deadlifting and squatting, anything where you're basically in a bilateral stance. Then we looked at single leg standing, which is necessary for walking and going up and down stairs. The half kneel to stand is necessary for lunging, and it looks at staggered stance movements. Alright, so with the after this movement and then looking at the first two that we did, we basically have all three of the fundamental positions or foot stances that you'll have for most movements, and then we just kind of go with variations from there. So take a look at the video, and it's pretty detailed in how to get up and down off the ground when you can get to that half kneeling position. Enjoy. Alright, so starting in the single kneel position, we have the right leg in extension, the left leg in flexion. So anytime your leg is in extension, what you want to look for is that the knee, hip, and shoulder are in a straight line with each other. So let's get me to an upright position here. Alright, so ear, shoulder, hip, knee as straight as can be. Alright, that's your starting position there. The front leg is going to be a vertical shin from knee to ankle bone. And what you can't see from this angle is that the knee should be out a little bit so that the kneecap is over the third or fourth toe. We will get an angle from the front later in the video. The back leg is going to be slightly internally rotated, which would mean that the toe of the back foot is turned inward a little bit. Okay, so that'll create some stability and internal rotation torque in that back leg. Alright, so you're going to make sure that your deep abdominal muscles are drawn in, which will keep you in this straight position and decrease any arching in the lumbar spine. Alright, so from there, we're just going to make sure that we go through me talking. Alright, so you're going to get like a little what my hand is showing there is when you engage your deep abdominals, which are around in that region there, that you should feel a little bit of a tension right in the front part of the hip there, and that just indicates that you're kind of locking the pelvis into a neutral position, which should actually increase the stretch of the front of the hip flexors there. You can also squeeze the glute back in that area there to try to get more of a tension in the front of the hip there. Alright, so that's just your setup phase. Alright. From there, looking to stand up. So you want to try to get as minimal of a forward lean as possible. Alright, so I do get a little bit of a forward lean that way, but you certainly don't want the head to go past the knee, and this knee stays relatively vertical. Okay, so that's not going to shoot forward there at all, and that's important. Alright, so you can get a sense. Alright, so from this position, you do have to bring yourself forward because this foot has to come and meet this foot in a standing position. Alright, so there's going to be a slight forward inclination, but you're still maintaining that straight line between the ear, shoulder, hip, and knee. Alright, and then as you're going to bring yourself forward, this foot stays planted, that knee didn't go too far forward, and now you're just meeting, right foot is meeting left foot. Okay, so as I get into a standing position, one thing that's commonly seen is that you'll stand up and the lower back will have an excessive arch in it, or the belt buckle will kind of be angled down that way, which will mean that the pelvis is rotated forward. So you want to make sure that you're maintaining stability and tension in the lower belly and the buttocks together, so there and there are working together and staying contracted, so you still maintain this ear, shoulder, hip, ankle straight posture as you stand up. Alright. So take your time with this as you come back, and you return to the same position that you started in. Okay. So again, finding this straight line again. Alright, so let's just take a quick look at the front position because this is important for the front knee. And as I was saying before, trying to have this kneecap be almost as wide as you feel you can without losing stability. That engages some of your hip external rotators, which further helps enhance the stability across the lower belly there. Alright, and it just helps you get a little bit more stability for the knee and protects the knee. It also will naturally lift the inner arch, right through that area. Alright, so as you go to stand up, this is your setup position. You want to take time practicing the setup position because if you start out of balance in this position, everything else is going to follow and be out of balance. Okay, so that is the single kneel to standing.